Hi all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. I'm located in upstate New York, Garden Zone 6A. So today I'm going to get started. It's the last week of January and I wanted to get started on planting my Lisianthus seeds. So this is going to be my first year taking a stab at growing Lisianthus from seed. I know they have a reputation for being extremely difficult, but we're going to give it our best shot and see what shakes out. So today for items that I have, I do have this 36 pack seed tray. It also does have a humidity dome. And now this isn't my standard tray that I use. It was actually a gift to me. So I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. It does have like a bottom watering system, which is what I appreciate when it comes to seeds. And then I have this seed mix, which is Seed Starter by Coast of Maine. I absolutely love the quality of Coast of Maine products. I use their compost, their lobster crab compost that is incredible and always makes my blooms beautiful. So I'm excited to try their seed mix. And then I do have just a small bucket to mix the seed mix together with some water as well, just to get it pre-moistened before I go ahead and put it into the tray. So that's kind of where we're going to be starting. I also have my light growth setup back here. And this truly is very simple. It's just wire racks, which I'll link all of these items below. And then some shop lights. So this is what I found to be the most cost efficient indoor grow system. And then I have the grow lights, and I'll bring you in later, but I just have them set up on zip ties. So what's nice is being able to kind of raise them as your seeds grow, depending on what I have on each side. And then I also have a heat mat too. So Lisianthus really like a warm start. So I'll be using the humidity dome, but then I'll also be using a heat mat underneath them to really give them that best germination temperature that they prefer. And then I do typically also have a fan running, but since they'll be in the humidity dome, I think I will put it out, but I'll probably take the dome off for like 1 to 2 hours a day. I also have vermiculite, which I need to go find because have seen a lot of other folks have success with sprinkling like a very thin layer on top. It just really helps create, or kind of give them that, like, keep the moisture in, I guess, for them. But it also helps prevent that algae growth that sometimes can happen and really ruin your seed start. So I'm going to grab some of that and put that in here too, to kind of mix in on top, but I'll bring you in to really get going and plant them. Lisianthus, I believe these are all from Johnny Seed. So they are pelleted, which means they're going to have like a little coating over them because they're so small. So I do have Lisadora apricot pelleted, and then I have Voyage 2 white, and then I also have Roseanne 2 terracotta also pelleted. And again, Johnny Seeds is my favorite source for seeds and quality. So I'm excited to be trying out to grow Lisianthus today. So happy to have you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a lot of seed starting videos coming up for all the different seeds that I'm going to be starting early. I'm also going to be doing a video of what I'm winter sowing. So that will be coming up in the future as well. And yeah, happy to have you here and take you through this. Again, I'm going to bring you in so you can see me go ahead and plant these up, but we're going to go ahead and get them planted. And then I'll show you too how I'm going to set them up under the lights, because the lights do need to be probably about, this high away from the seeds as they're trying to get started and get growing. So thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add in some of the seed mix. I'll probably do like half the bag and kind of see where we're at from there. Maybe a little bit more. I'm trying to judge how much I'm going to need, but I can always add more in. I can't put it back in the bag after I wet it. So we'll start here, and then I'm just going to take this and mix it in. I don't wear gloves or anything because I want to be able to feel the moisture level in the soil. So we're going to get nice and dirty. This feels nice though, because it's been quite a bit since I've had my hands in dirt. It's been way too cold and it's very exciting. So yeah, I'm just going to start to mix this around, and you don't want it to be sopping wet, but you want it to be damp. You want it to be, really moist, but you don't want it to be like sopping wet. And then hot tip, I put a tablecloth down when I'm sowing seeds indoors. I don't have a greenhouse. I can't do this outside right now. It's absolutely freezing. It's literally 1 degree, and I think we're getting 17 to 22 inches tomorrow. So not stoked for that. But yeah, I'm going to start to really kind of just wet this, play around in here, get it nice and damp. And then for Lisianthus too, I forgot to mention, I am starting them out in these smaller cells, but likely I'll check in on them probably around end of February, maybe beginning of March even. And I'll probably have to bump them up from this seed tray and put them in a larger growing pot, because they, one of the things that I've researched and like learned a lot about is that they can get really like root bound quick. So I certainly don't want that to happen. And I'll be trying to keep an eye on that for sure. I'll add a little bit more. All right. Again, we're really just kind of mixing it up good here. Once I get this mixed up, I'm going to start popping it into here. And then I'll bring you in even closer to show you how I'm placing the Lisianthus seed in. All right, we're getting nice damp. All right, so now that we are all, you know, nice and damp, I'm just going to start adding in the soil. Again, it feels so nice to get my hands back in dirt. There's something like so therapeutic about it. It's been such a long time, and this is really the first kickstart to the gardening season for me. Buying seeds was obviously equally exciting, but and kind of planning out when I'm going to be planting everything, but this is definitely the most exciting, is really getting everything started and watching the seedlings come to life and grow. And it's just so magical to have that little piece of life sprouting as everything's still, you know, cold and very dead outside. So I'm going to stop being so careful, and I'm going to make a bit of a mess because I don't, again, I'm just going to take this tablecloth outside and shake it off after, and then be good to go. Any like large clumps like this, I just try to like break it up with my hand. Add a little bit more to the sides, and then we are good to go. We can start planting. All right. So this is our seed tray. We are all set up, ready to go. And all right, so I am gonna do 2 seeds per cell. And then, you know, as they come up, I will thin them out. So thinning them out just means, you know, if 2 sprout up, you sadly just take one out. And then the other one has room for its roots to develop, and they're not like competing with each other. So just to show you, again, these are pelleted, which is so helpful because the seeds are so tiny, but like extra tiny. So I'm gonna just use my hand. I've seen people use toothpicks and stuff, but I feel good because, again, these are yellow, so they'll really contrast against the soil, and you'll be able to see how many you added. But I am gonna go ahead and add 2 per cell. 1, 2. and kind of just start to go across. So I'm trying to get them more in the center as well, but we'll see. Oop, see, that one just jumped, so I'm going to grab that with my fingernail and put it back over here. Again, I love that these are pelleted yellow. It really makes it easy to see as you go through. Okay, so I wanted to just add, again, a very small layer of vermiculite, but you can see here, you can see the yellow seeds everywhere. So I'm not going to bury them, like they need the light to germinate, but I'm going to just add, again, like a very, very thin layer. And this, you can pick up vermiculite pretty much anywhere, but this is what it looks like. So we're just going to kind of sprinkle some on top and go across the rows. So again, I can pretty much still see my seeds. So just adding a little sprinkle to all of the rows, not like a thick layer. And this should help with the algae growth, but also help just retain the moisture in there as too. I actually use this too when I'm like storing my dahlias because it helps with moisture there and prevent mold on those. And you can see that if you're interested in dahlias in my digging up and dividing video. All right, I got a small little handful. Just kind of sprinkle it across. Again, I can still see the seed sticking out, so something to bear in mind. All right. So another thing that I do as well, and this you have to be very careful with because the seeds are so small that you don't want to blast them with like a very strong mist because they will obviously move around. So I have this. It's just, and I'll link this below, but it's just a continuous mist sprayer. And you can even spray it like above, way above to just give them a light misting, but you're not, moving the seeds around. So I'm kind of just letting it fall over the seeds, but I'm not blasting them directly because you really want to get them nice and moist before you put the dome on. And again, the soil all throughout is pre-moistened, so I'm just going to do this. And then I'll bottom water probably in like a day or so, but you can just check on them. That's going to be the most important, is just regularly checking on them, checking for algae growth, checking to see, what they need. So if you do see algae growth, put a fan on them regularly. Like I said, for that 1 to 2 hours a day, give them that break from that consistent moisture. And then it's just really important, like I said, for that warm start. So I'm going to put them in the seed tray, or sorry, on the heated pad. That I'll show you that too when we go ahead and add them to the shelf. Okay, so I just placed them under the lights. I am going to raise this one like a tiny bit more. So they're just right above the humidity dome, and I have 2 per rack. So right now, Lisianthus is the only thing I'm starting. So this is all set to go. I have the heat mat as well started. So hopefully that gives them their nice warm start that they need. And again, I'll keep an eye on it for algae growth. And I'll be bringing that fan in here shortly too, to just occasionally give them that airflow so that that algae growth is prevented. All right, so my Lisianthus seeds are all tucked in and ready to go. Again, like I said, I'll be keeping an eye on them for algae growth and just checking in on them. You want to keep them moist. Seeds need to stay moist throughout their germination. So I'll be regularly spraying them, again, with that continuous mister that I have. Of course, not too hard so that the seeds are moving around, but we'll go ahead and keep an eye on them. But I'm really excited to see what comes of these beautiful flowers, and I'm hoping for lots of germination and lots of success. And again, final tip too is I will likely be taking a peek at these. I would say probably end of February, beginning of March, to bump them up into a larger growing pot because them becoming root bound, I've heard from a lot of other flower farmers, is really what can ruin their success. So we'll keep an active eye on them. And yeah, but thank you for being here. Again, like and subscribe if you are interested in cut flowers. I have so many videos coming up of seed starting and along with winter sowing. I'm also going to be doing a fun like design series for just floral design. I'm going to be doing a wedding series for winter, really focused around like making boutonnieres and corsages in a more modern way, along with bouquets and arrangements too. So excited to have you here, and see you in the next one. Lastly, just wanted to jump back in. Please share below to what you're growing in your garden this year. I think it's so fun to hear from other fellow gardeners what they're growing in their cut flower garden. Also, any other tips that you can share about Lisianthus, the success you've had or the failures you've had, if you can pop that in the comments below. I think it's so nice to just build a community that can support each other and help each other in their growing journey. So again, thank you for being here, and see you in the next one.